Mr. Graham, we've been waiting for you. Well, now that everyone's here, Mr. Brodax will join you shortly.
Let me guess. We all got the same telegrams and the same copy of Brodax's latest edition.
We never met formally, but since we're sharing the same headline, I'm Wally Hammerhand.
Frank Graham.
Of course, you recognize Carl Ross and Cindy McNichol.
I think you're the best magician in the world.
Thank you. And I think you're beautiful.
And I think you're pushing your luck.
Coffee, anyone?
Make mine black, Wally.
Get your own, Brodax.
Is that any way to greet an old friend?
What's this all about?
Well, if you must know, boys and girls, it's about a special edition of Tattletale and you four, who in the last 12 months have all sued me and all lost.
And this is your way of rubbing our noses in it?
Haven't you heard us enough?
I merely print the truth, sweetheart. That's why I called you here this morning, so that you'll have the opportunity to respond to these stories. Thompson?
Just tell me precisely what you want to say to our readers.
Brodax, you're a dead man.
Take down Mr. Ross's words exactly, Thompson. I don't want the champ to accuse us of misquoting him. Mr. Graham, how about you?
Words are your weapons, Brodax. I've got my own.
And Wally?
Gone too far this time, Al.
Well, Thompson, I thought that went very well, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Excellent. You were masterful.
Oh, well, yes. Tell you what we'll do. We'll run a news story leading off with their threats against me. Then I'll make a statement. No amount of intimidation will prevent Tattletale from sticking to its high journalistic standards. Oh, no. Ron, could you get that for me? It's an article I worked on all last night.
Sure thing, Mr. Brodax.
Here you are, son.
By the way, your story on the 8-year-old girl who eats fire, too sketchy. Get some interviews, talk to her friends, her principal. You ask her dentist how it affects her teeth.
That's it. Now, don't you worry about a thing, little buddy. We're gonna get you all fixed up and go back to your resting friends. They're manufactured in Hong Kong for less than $3 a pair. Shipping back to the States, advertising, packaging, promoting runs only another $1.85 a pair. Murray, I thought we had a rule about business out here at the ranch. Now we sell them to the outlets for $10.50 a pair. For $22.50 a pair.
Who'd you say
that
you worked
gives us
for?
a net profit of $5.15 for each pair we
What's
sell.
that D
Now
stand
I've run a
for?
cost comparison with the Taiwan
Would
mills.
you marry me?
Hold it now, fellas!
Houston?
Murray,
Houston?
I think that this is a great investment. I can never get you at the office, so...
Houston?
Yeah, just a minute, CJ. Ladies, listen. I'm sorry you had to come all the way out here. But see, there's no business out here. There's a time and a place for everything.
Just name it. Houston, I need you.
CJ, if... CJ, like I told Murray, I'm up to here in trouble. I've got 15 head of calves stranded up in White Pine Meadow.
Houston, it's Johnny Randolph. His dad got in the way of a murder attempt. He's been badly hurt.
Now, don't you worry about them calves, Houston.
Just take care of them for me, would you? Okay, girls. Back in the bus.
Ron Randolph was more than just Houston's landscaper. He was an old friend. And one thing you have to know about Houston, he doesn't like it when his friends get hurt.
CJ, why don't you call ahead to the house?
Let them know you're going to investigate? I already have.
Thank you. Oh, Johnny. Easy, buddy. Come on. Let's go sit down for a minute, all right? Come on. You all right? Here, have a seat there, partner. Listen to me. It's gonna be all right. You get my word on that, okay?
But the doctors don't know me.
I know, Johnny, slow down for a minute, okay? Johnny, you're gonna have to be the man in the family for a little while now. You know that, don't you? I know you're scared. Think about how scared your brothers and sisters are.
You want to help them, don't you?
Yeah, sure you do. I know you do. You get to pull up real hard now and get a hold of yourself. You do that for me, won't you? Yeah, I know you will. Now, you got to tell me. Tell me exactly what happened out there.
I'll tell you what happened. Someone tried to silence the press, kill the First Amendment. Well, let me tell you, the pen is mightier than the sword. Johnny?
Just who the hell are you?
Brodax. Al Brodax. I'm the publisher of Tattletale. Johnny, I want you to call this number and ask for Cappy. He's one of my best reporters. He's going to ask you some questions. And you're going to make $50. You'd like to make $50, wouldn't you, Johnny?
But what do I have to do?
Just answer Cappy's questions. Oh, and we're going to need a photograph of you, too. It'll be a wonderful article, you'll see. I saw my dad electrocuted.
Just a warm, sensitive human being.
Yeah, just why don't you tell me exactly what you're doing here?
Someone tried to kill me this morning, Mr. Houston. My swimming pool was sabotaged. 220 volts of electricity. When the boy's father tried to retrieve some papers for me that had fallen into the water, he nearly got killed. I want to talk about our catching and convicting the lunatic who's done this.
Our catching?
Someone from here called and said you were investigating this matter. Well, I'm here to join forces with you. I'm ready to lend the full power and investigative capabilities of Tattletale. What do you say?
I'll tell you quite honestly, Mr. Brodax, I'm not interested in you or Tattletale helping me on this case. But I tell you something else. I'm going to find out who tried to kill my friend. Johnny,
Houston, don't worry about it. I'll get Johnny back to his family.
Fine. Remember what I said, all right? I'm going to show you the way out. You get a hold of Murray, and you tell him to get down to the nursery and start taking care of things.
Simple, really. The electrical line leading into the water pump was cut and fed directly into the circulator.
So if Brodax wanted to take a little dip in the pool...
He'd have been dead before he came up for air.
Yeah.
Lucky Ron Randolph was wearing rubber boots. It took quite a jolt of electricity, but he's still alive, barely.
Vince, how tough would it be to really change that kind of wiring?
It's a cinch for anybody with a basic knowledge of wiring and electricity.
So let me guess, our would-be killer was wearing gloves, so there aren't any fingerprints?
Yes, but we are not completely without leads.
Losers of the year.
Sounds like our friend Brodax was very good at winning friends and influencing people.
Mr. Houston, have you solved the case yet?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Brodax, Lieutenant Novelli and myself were just going over the suspects when he handed me this.
Eye-catching, isn't it? Should be a sellout.
Mr. Brodax, I doubt that the people on the front page share your enthusiasm.
I'm not in this business to make friends. By the way, my offer still stands if you need any help.
Yeah. Well, listen, have any of these people ever threatened you before?
Well, they all did this morning. You see, Mr.
Perhaps I should explain. Last night, I sent each of them an advance copy of this week's edition and asked them here to get their reactions.
Seems like you got yourself a whole swimming pool full of reactions, Mr. Brodax.
And a front page full of suspects. In spite of all that was going on, Houston wanted to make sure everything was going well at the nursery while Johnny's father was in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh. Phone. Excuse me. Houston Enterprises. Check that. Randolph Nursery. Yes, of course, I'm sure. Now, what is it you want? Cannabis sativa? Is that a fern? Or a plant or a bush? None of the above? What, something you smoke? No, we do not carry that in stock. Do you know what that... Oh, I'm sorry. Miss, excuse me, please. Here, look, have your dress cleaned on, all right? And come back. And bring an umbrella. Murray. I'm sorry. Houston, I need help. Murray, Beverly Hills is full of shrinks. Not that kind of help. It's this business. Ron has got a monumental backlog of deliveries.
Well, it looks like business is just fine. I mean, a little soggy, but fine.
Houston, Ron is in the hospital. He has delivery problems. I have been on the phone for an hour trying to hire a delivery person. There are none. Our society is devoid of delivery people. If I were not a sane, rational person, I would say that there is some kind of fiendish plot. Maybe there is.
Murray, listen. Get Bo and Lamar on the phone. Have them get their tails out here and give you a hand.
Oh, no. No, please. Now, listen.
Murray. Murray. Now, it's either Bo and Lamar or a shrink, and shrinks cost $85 an hour. Now, if CJ calls, you tell her I'm at the hospital visiting Ron. Now, you just take it easy, Murray.
Sorry.
That's not meat you're marinating. Ow! CJ, you're trying to kill me or something. CJ! Oh, what is that on there? It burns like acid.
It's acid. Just kidding, Houston.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Did you see the look? What's wrong with Mary Ann?
What's wrong with Mary Ann is her name's Alex.
Oh. Ouch! CJ!
Houston, would you stop being such a baby?
Baby, that reminds me, I knew there was something else we could be doing besides this.
She's all programmed and ready to go. Did you get a chance to talk to Ron Randolph?
Well, I called the hospital. They said he's in pretty rough shape, but they believe he's gonna make it.
That's good news.
You bet it is.
Okay.
What do we got?
Hello, baby. First up, Cindy McNichol, Miss July for Sultan Magazine.
You don't suppose Baby's got a copy of the centerfold in there? We'll just put it up, okay? Oh, that's nice.
Try not to drool all over the couch, Houston. Now, Brodax alleged in his newspaper that Cindy only got the centerfold because there was pressure from certain individuals in organized crime, namely...
Carl the Champ Ross.
The Champ?
Mm-hmm. He's one of the most ruthless men in organized crime. He fancies himself as a boxer. His most recent stint in Leavenworth, he had a standing invitation to $10,000 for anyone who could stay in the ring with him more than 3 rounds.
Anybody ever take him up on it?
Only the slow-witted ones. Yeah, who's next?
The Amazing Graham, magician. One of the most popular in the country until Tattletale printed an article saying he was a bigamist. Married 3 women at the same time. Apparently has put quite a crimp into his bookings.
Yeah, not to mention the alimony.
And last but not least, Wally Hanrahan. Con artist extraordinaire. Used to work for Brodax. In fact, used to come up with all kinds of circulation-building gimmicks.
Such as?
Such as the ultimate diet. Lose weight while you're sleeping. 30,000 pigeons bought that one at $10 a throw. Anyway, Brodax became a witness for the government, and Hanrahan went to jail. Mail fraud.
So, these 4 people on the cover all sued Tattletale and lost. Is there anything else about them that they have in common?
Yep. All of those stories are true.
Come on, CJ. I think it's time we go see Mr. Hanrahan.
Welcome to Tahitian paradise. The island where your dreams can come true.
You suppose we're in the wrong office?
Do you care?
No.
Follow us, please.
Anywhere you say.
Aloha, my friends. Welcome to the quiet and serenity that can only be found at Tahitian paradise. Welcome to the opportunity to own your own piece of a tropical South Sea island. I know what you're going to say. You can't afford a luxury condo. Wrong. Anyone can. For peanuts. How? By sharing the cost with 51 other fortunate owners. Yes, for an entire week, every year, you can bask in the sun, swim in the seas of romance.
Rub shoulders with ex-cons?
Who are you?
My name's Matt Houston. This is C.J. Parsons, my associate. We'd kind of like to talk to you about Al Brodax.
Oh. Sorry, kids. False alarm. Take 10. Brodax, huh? Yeah, well, I heard somebody try to kill him this morning. Too bad they missed.
We understand he isn't your favorite person.
I made his paper with my promotions.
And then you made one promotion too many.
The Ultimate Diet. Yeah, well, Brodax was in it as much as I was. Only he kept better records. I guess you might say he was smarter than me in those days, see? I trusted him.
Sounds like a good motive for murder.
Sure it does. And I would have killed him 3 years ago when I first got indicted, or even after I got out of jail. But now, are you crazy? This Tahitian paradise thing is a gold mine. And legit.
Well, Brodax swimming pool had to be wired sometime last night. I don't suppose you'd mind telling us where you were last night.
Leilani? Kamalani? The gentleman wants to know where I was last night. Aloha, you all. Aloha, my friends. Welcome to the quiet...
Three most attractive parts, I might add. Etc. Bravo, bravo. Let's get it from rid of this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a trunk. What we also have here is a beautiful lady. We put the beautiful lady in the trunk, making certain, of course, that there is no way that she can get out. One, two,
three.
What do you want to get? He's in the box now. That is really amazing.
Yeah. I'm also a mind reader, and I'm getting a name. Dallas. No, Houston. Matt Houston.
Yeah, Vince Novelli told you I'd be coming by.
Now you know one of my secrets.
Yeah, this is C.J. Parsons.
Ah, for you. Sorry about that. Do you mind?
Well.
Let me try this again. For you.
Thank you.
Here, I'll get rid of that.
Nice place to roost.
That's wonderful. You're full of tricks.
Well, why don't you stick around and catch my show? I have a matinee in an hour.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, listen, I hate to be the one to throw a cold bucket of water.
But you want to know if I was the one who tried to kill Brodax, and the answer is no. Now, if you want to ask me if I felt like killing him, the answer is yes. Bigamy is definitely not a good image for magicians.
Neither is murder. Which leads me to the classic question.
I left this theater at midnight and went straight home.
Alone?
Are you kidding? Can a man with 3 wives ever be alone? Now, if you'll excuse me. I do have a show to prepare
for. Houston, would you do me a favor?
What's that?
Don't ask me to follow that man.
Right.
Houston figured that with Hanrahan's 2 hula girls and the magician's 3 wives as alibis, it was time I did some checking. Meanwhile, he went on alone to keep his appointment with the infamous Carl the Champ Ross.
Yeah?
I'm Matt Houston. I believe I've got an appointment.
Oh, yeah, Houston. The boss is warming up now, so you're going to have to wait a few minutes. Tell you what, follow me.
Well, sure. Oh. Wait a minute, aren't you Archie O'Brien?
Hey, you remember me?
Well, who can forget? I mean, that fight you had with Ingersoll.
Oh, hey, yeah, that was some battle.
You guys must have went toe-to-toe for 8 rounds, huh?
Yeah, suddenly I hit him with an uppercut, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Well, you're working for Carl Ross now.
Oh, yeah, I kind of help him work out. You know, I spar with him, you know. And he likes me. I let him win.
What kind of boss is he?
Mr. Ross is very good to me. Look, why don't you, you can wait in here, and somebody will be back to pick you up in a minute.
Thank you.
I know King Tut. He does have a blue aura. You can't see it, but it's there.
Is that bad?
Oh, no, it's very good. In fact, King Tut always barks at people with blue auras. It means you have good karma.
Let me ask you a question.
My spirit is willing.
What is that contraption there?
It's a pyramid. A metaphysical miracle discovered by the Egyptians thousands of years ago and then forgotten.
What's it do?
Keeps me at peace with the world. You must be the man who is coming to talk about Al Brodax.
Right, yeah.
My name is Cindy McNichol.
I know. I recognize that your face is familiar.
Care to hear what I think?
Sure.
I think Brodax was asking for it. He's a vulture, and somebody should take him out and shoot him.
Mr. Ross will see you now.
I enjoyed sharing my peace with you.
Like, me too.
Yeah, Mr. Houston. You box?
Well, to tell you the truth...
Good. I thought you did. Archie, give me your gloves.
Mr. Ross, I just came out here to talk to you for a minute.
Oh, fine. We'll talk. Put the gloves on and step into the ring. Unless you're afraid.
Mr. Ross, does it bother you that you're wearing the boxing shoes and the headgear and those nifty trunks and I'm in a suit and boots?
I heard you were a tough guy.
Well, I wouldn't really say that. Mama certainly didn't raise any fools.
I already made my best offer. Step into the ring and then we'll talk. You know, you interest me, Mr. Houston. You're one of the few people on Earth that has more money than I do. And yet you run around playing cops and robbers. Now, why is that?
Because I enjoy it.
Your enjoyment's gonna get you hurt.
Watch him. He uses every dirty trick in the book.
Suppose I ought to tell you the house rules. There aren't any.
Mr. Ross, I believe you just stepped in it.
I understand you've come here to insult me.
Not really. I just wanted...
No, you just wanted to ask if I was responsible for the attempt on Brodax's life, huh?
Was curious.
I have every right to want him dead. But electrifying a swimming pool, that's strictly amateur. If I wanted a man dead, I'd have him shot.
Ross?
If I find out who did this, I will kill him. I swear I'll kill him.
You were right, Houston. Shot came from over the hill over there. Had to be an expert. It's over 300 yards.
Vince, the whole thing doesn't make any sense. I mean, up to now, we knew our killer had to be somebody with a grudge against Brodax.
Yeah, somebody hurt by his paper.
That's right. And then someone tries to get me at the nursery yesterday, and now they got one of our suspects.
Lieutenant, they tell me I need your permission to get a photograph of Ross's remains.
You also need my permission to be on the scene of the crime. You have neither. Now leave.
You trying to hide something from the press? The American public has a right to know.
Put your flag away and get off this property before I arrest you.
For what?
For being obnoxious on the scene of a crime. Now beat it.
Okay, I'll go. But don't think you can hide anything from me. Tattletale is America's watchdog.
Vince, I didn't know you had a temper.
Well, I still still haven't got anything firm on either Hanrahan or Graham's alibis.
Of course not. I mean, why should it? I mean, why should anything come easy on this case?
Houston, do you think Ross's murder is connected to the attack on you and the attempt on Brodax?
I'm positive, CJ. There's got to be a connection linking one of our suspects to both Brodax and Ross.
Well, I'll keep digging.
Yeah, well, it's got to be, CJ.
Well, got to be what?
There's got to be the connection between Brodax and Ross. Somebody who wanted to see them both dead.
Where are you going?
I'm going to dinner.
Well, Houston, I haven't had dinner yet. Of course, I'm not hungry either.
Your aura is bluer than ever.
Well, thank you, Cindy. Listen, we need your help. Vince and I think that you're our only possible link to Brodax and Ross.
You see, you were living with a gangster, and Brodax let this entire country know through that scandal sheet of his.
Things change. I'm now undergoing a rebirth of consciousness, motivation, and intent to all my fellow men.
Well, that's swell, Cindy. I think what Vince is trying to say is that we figure you might have attracted a self-appointed savior somewhere along the line.
Like your father, brother, old boyfriend.
Yeah, someone who loved you enough, someone who didn't like the way you were being treated by those fellas.
You believe that Carl was murdered and someone tried to kill Mr. Brodax because of me?
Well, we think that's very possible. Now, how do you feel about that?
Forgive me. Meditation teaches one to observe matters from a distance.
No, sit. Lost her again, Vince.
Allora, did you decide what to order?
Mama, you order, please.
Oh, no. When I decide, you always complain it's too much food, it's too much this, too much that. Troppo difficile, say. Tonight, you order. So, pretty lady, what would you like? Hey, pretty lady. Vincent, what's the matter? Oh, poverina. You both make her wait so long to eat, she faints from hunger.
She didn't faint, Mama. She's in meditation.
Medication you get in a hospital, not in my ristorante.
Mama, it's not medication, it's meditation. She's deep in thought.
For my menu. It's not that complicated.
Mama, please, some food.
Okay, tell me what you like.
Same as Houston.
Y'all have the same as Cindy.
Benissimo, three of the same coming right out.
She's back. Listen, did you think any more about that? Who might have loved you enough to kill for you, just to protect you?
No one. I have no family. I was abandoned by my parents at the age of 14. There was never any boyfriend. Carl Ross was the only man who ever showed me any kindness.
Benedetti, ragazzi. But why you want to fool Mama like that? You just gave me 3 orders of nothing.
Make it 4.
Fellas! Huh? No, listen, I got your order right here. No problem. 5 o'clock guaranteed. Fellas!
Murray!
Houston, thank the Dow Jones averages, you're finally here.
What's wrong now, Murray?
Paul and Lamar, they think they're running a demolition derby. Take a look at this place.
Hey there, Johnny. Just the man I'm looking for.
I am?
Yeah. Tell you, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Listen, don't you worry about old Bo and Lamar there. They'll make everything up, I can guarantee you. Listen, I saw your dad at the hospital this morning.
They say he's getting better.
Yeah, that's right. See, I needed to ask him a couple of questions about what happened to him the other morning, but he was still sleeping.
Well, I was there. Maybe I could tell you.
You know, Johnny, that's what I thought. So what I'd like you to do is think real hard for me and see if you can tell me everything you remember.
Well, we were planting flowers, and Mr. Brodax came out for his morning swim. And he was talking to some reporter guy.
Can you tell me what they said?
Something about a girl eating fire. And then his papers fell into the pool, and he started yelling at my dad to get them out. He said they were an article that he worked on all night.
Huh. Article.
That's what he said. That means something?
Houston, it's phone for you. It's CJ. She says it's important.
Be right back. What do you got, CJ?
Maybe the missing link. I just found out that Hanrahan and Carl the Champ Ross served time in Leavenworth together. From what I could dig up, they have a mutual hate society. Which means that he'd want to kill both of them.
Yeah, I'm still here, CJ. I just, strikes me a little funny that, I just never figured our Polynesian king to be a killer. We better pay him another visit.
Freeze? Why?
Well, the cops say that in situations like this.
You're going to unfreeze and you're going to find out what the bad guys do in situations like this.
Listen, Now that I've got your attention, let me ask you a question.
Be my guest.
Thank you. Why are you trying to kill Mr. Hanrahan?
He killed my boss because of what happened in Leavenworth. Lord X told me. If you don't believe me, take a look over in that corner.
I never saw it before. I swear to you, I never saw that gun before.
I'm beginning to feel as out of place as a prairie dog at a rattlesnake convention. I mean, we got a sleazo syndicate boss that's dead. We got a sleazo gossip publisher who almost got killed. I nearly got myself killed, and I'm beginning to wonder why.
Oh, yeah.
See, this builds your arms up, your shoulders.
Don't say anything.
Did I say anything?
Just
I didn't say anything.
don't say anything.
Just help you out a lot.
Hello there, Johnny. How's it going, buddy?
How you sent, Miss Parsons?
Why?
Got the bus? CJ?
Hey, will you stop your gaggling and get back to work? We got lots of this work to do here, Jay. Discipline. That's a secret of good management. Murray taught me that. Well, come on. Don't just stand there. We got lots more to hear. Here.
Pull it back here, John.
Take this.
Huh?
Get going. Go over here, there, John.
Just in time. Join me in a toast. This has really been a great day for us, Mr. Houston. You have caught a murderer, and I've got a story worthy of another special edition.
Yes, you do. And you can start by telling your readers how you sent a professional fighter after Hanrahan, a man who used to make a living with his fist. Now, how'd you know it was Hanrahan?
I figured it had to be him. He was the only one who had a grudge against both me and Ross.
Which brings us to our next point.
Right. How'd you know about that grudge?
Read about it with the rest of America in Tattletale. Only cost a quarter.
Excuse me, but Mr. Houston has a phone call. It's Murray from your office, line 3.
Thank you. Hello, Murray. Yeah. I got it. It seems like Frank Graham just called. He wants me to meet him at the theater. Says he knows who killed Ross. It wasn't Hanrahan.
What?
Yeah. Tell you what, CJ, I'm gonna have Bo and Lamar take you back to the office, and I'll talk to you a little later on, okay?
And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the cage is absolutely empty. Empty. But now, with a few magic words, and perhaps a little bit of luck, let's see what we can do. Well, I thank you, sir, for the applause. Small but very discriminating audience.
Yeah, well, my office tells me that you're in a position to incriminate. They tell me that you know who killed Ross.
Indeed I do. And when you hear my evidence, you'll be convinced as well. The murderer is Al Brodax.
That's very good, Maestro.
How'd you figure it out? Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't him, it was me.
Where are the cops?
He's supposed to be here any minute now. That phone conversation out at your house, that was all a setup. This here's a trap.
What are you talking about?
Well, see, you staged your very own murder attempt. Yeah, you rigged your pool, and then you conveniently let those papers drop in, and you wanted Ron Randolph to fish them out for you. And then when you were sure that everybody knew somebody was trying to kill you, you murdered Ross. Yeah, and you knew the police were going to connect it to Hanrahan. That way you got rid of both of them.
I'd have gotten away with it, too, if you hadn't stuck your nose in it.
What are we going to do?
Not real sure. You're the magician. Why don't you just disappear us out of here? You're probably wondering where you slipped up, aren't you? Well, I'm going to tell you. It was the papers in the pool. See, I found a piece of that paper on the bottom of my boot the other day, and it was blank. That bothered me an awful lot, because you told Ron Randolph that it was an article that you'd been working on all night.
The trunk has a trap door.
Oh, good. I'll tell you what. I'll distract him, and you make a run for it. Now. Better hide and stay hidden.
Give it up, Brodax. Police are on their way now. Houston, I'm not gonna let you bring me down for killing that mobster. He was bleeding me dry. After he lost the lawsuit, he still wanted the money. He said he'd kill me if I didn't give him half the tattletale.
Something. If Mr. Pulitzer ever gives a prize for malice, you're going to have it all sewn up. Come on.
Houston! Houston, where are you? Houston, are you all right?
I'm fine, Vince, but I'm afraid you missed the show. Come on, Brodax.
Slowly, stay together now. That's it, perfect. Just relax.
Murray? Well, Murray, what in the Sam Hill is going on here?
How do you know?
Know what?
That's my name, Samantha Hill.
Is it really?
Before you say another word, did you or did you not say no business at the ranch? Huh? Did you, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Which means business is to take place at the office.
And dinner takes place in a restaurant. Hungry?
A little bit.
All right, ignore me. Send me away. Hang me by my heels for looking after your interests. Crucify me for my responsibility.
Murray, don't be so melodramatic. Houston was just talking about you.
He was?
Yes, he was.
Yes, I was, Murray. And I was just telling CJ about how I was going over the facts and figures on the company that you left me.
Really?
Well, yeah, really, Murray. See, now I think it's a dandy little company. Now, if the numbers are right, I think...
The numbers are more than right. Houston, the guy who owns the company is a genius when it comes to designing jeans, but he is a babe in the woods when it comes to money. I'm telling you, Houston, we can steal this company.
Oh, no, we can't.
We can't?
No, no. See, you can't steal anything you already own. See, I bought half interest in that company this morning. See, it's just like you said, Murray. The man's a genius, and he's probably a pretty nice fella, and we wouldn't want to steal something from somebody like that, now would we?
Not me.
No.
And Murray, because Houston wants to protect his investment, he wants you to buy something else. He wants you to buy the modeling agency.
Modeling agency?
Well, yeah, Murray. See, I figure as long as you've got the product, you've got to have the right packaging.
Fabulous designs of Valentine St. Clair.
Dallas is wearing the most elegant of evening costumes. We call the fabric gold bark. It's romantic, it's light, it moves, and it whispers in the wind to give you a much more romantic feeling. The dress underneath, the perfect frame, the absolute frame for the woman's own jewelry. The look of bugle beads, sparkle, bedazzle, and dazzle the public. They look at this woman as if to say, she's a tiger, she's alive, she's vital, and she moves into your life with the same romantic, beautiful opulence.
Renee, have Charlene Teaster and Betty straighten out your sash.
Vera, this is the last time I'm going to warn you. You get those girls out on cue, or I'll find someone who can do it.
Look, you don't...
Will you go on? Move it!
Vera, try not to take him so serious. He's under a lot of pressure.
Yes, I know, Mr. Garth. Is that your answer again?
Vera, you keep calling me Mr. Garth. Can't you just forget that St. Clair and I are partners and just call me Marvin?
Marvin. Excuse me, the show.
St. Clair.
I told you to stay out front. Keep out of the way.
I'll stay where I damn well please.
Garth, take my advice. From now on, be my silent partner. One of the world's most beautiful models, Christina Berenson, draped in a fantasy black chiffon, and she feels beautiful. Christina Berenson. Christina, all those superlatives I just said about you, don't take them too seriously.
Haven't you just once done something nice for someone?
Oh, I certainly hope not. And I'm not going to start with someone I know as much about as I do you.
Be happy, darling.
The only thing that could make me happy is to see you dead.
Try to pretend, Vera, just for the next few minutes, that you don't hate me as much as they do.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most talked about designer from Los Angeles to New York to London. The incredible Valentine St. Clair. Looks like a remote control device.
He's dead.
You sure he won't mind?
Christina, if you know Houston as well as you claim to, there's absolutely nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. I wouldn't exactly call a first-degree murder charge nothing to worry about. Besides, it's been a while since Houston and I haven't seen him in a while.
I think you're putting the cart before the horse. Lieutenant Novelli isn't having you arrested. He simply wants you available.
But everybody knows how I felt about Valentine, and a lot of people heard me say I wanted to see him dead.
That would make you a prime suspect.
Rupert. Let's go get the... Oh, now, come on. Time out here. Time out.
Time? What do you mean, time? We didn't set any time limit.
Yeah, well, old Rupert here's not feeling up to snuff. I mean, he just flew in from Florida, and I bet you he's a little airsick. Jet lag or something.
Frogs don't get jet lag.
Well, this one does. Now, I mean, he's real sensitive. He comes from a long line of champions, fellas. He's a real thoroughbred, and I bet you he's got some Arabian in him, don't you?
I don't care. You can't call a race in the middle. It just ain't fair. What are you gonna do, Houston? You gonna forfeit?
Well, no, sir. Old Rupert can jump circles around your frog.
Well, how'd you like to put your money where your frog is?
You got yourself a bet. Double or nothing, they'll run on Sunday.
Hello, Rooster.
Hello, Squeaky.
Rooster and Squeaky. It's been a while.
I bet you it's been 6 years, hasn't it? Let's go back to the office and get some lunch.
Houston, you forgot something, me.
One thing's for sure, Rupert's legs are probably better for eating than for jumping.
Don't you worry about a thing, Chris. Old Vincent Novelli's a friend of mine. I think I can reason with him.
Has a much bigger problem than that, Houston.
Believe me, there's nothing bigger than Murder One. Except maybe that thing you're wearing on your finger. It's a little too big for a friendship ring, isn't it?
It's the real thing, Houston. He's wonderful. I met my Prince Charming just like you said I would.
Man, my big mouth. Do I know him?
He's a congressman.
I see. I'm beginning to get it now. You get busted and his career goes bust, not to mention your love life with him, right? And you want me to help you? Now what the hell? For old time's sake, don't worry about a thing. Old Rooster's gonna fix it. I don't quite understand is this deal with the remote control device, you know?
Well, the lieutenant thinks it might have launched the arrow that killed Valentine.
Yeah, well, how'd you end up with it?
I don't know. It was all in the commotion. Valentine was lying there dead, and people are screaming, and all of a sudden I felt something drop by me on the floor. Right there on the floor. It was the remote.
I'll tell you what, why don't we skip lunch? Then you go back to the hotel and get some rest. I'll get cracking on this thing.
Houston, I didn't do it.
We think the arrow was launched electronically. And when Valentine was killed, your lady friend was standing over there with this remote control device by her feet. And we have an eyewitness. That's her, Vera Martin.
Oh, thanks, Vince. Yeah, excuse me, my name's Matthew.
Yes, I know, Houston. You are Christina's friend.
That's right.
I'm glad she has someone like you to stand by her.
Well, thank you.
You know, I feel terrible about having to tell the police. You know, I saw the clicker by her feet.
Yeah, well, of course you did. I tell you, I need to ask you a question. Can you tell me what kind of man Valentine St. Clair was?
Passionate, explosive, moody. Well, you see, he was an artist.
Yeah, well, if he wasn't an artist, could it be construed as rude and obnoxious and downright unlikable?
Well, he wasn't an easy person to get along with. But you see, for me, well, I know it might sound corny, to learn at the feet of a master, well, I guess there's still some old-fashioned hero worship in me. I'll miss him.
Yeah, who won't miss him?
I'm not going to swallow any more red ink. Now, if they want to sue, then I'm going to declare bankruptcy. Then they're going to have to wait till the middle of the month to get paid. That's their choice.
Before you ask, that's Mr. Garth, Valentine's partner.
Yeah, will he miss him?
Well, everyone knows that they had their differences. Well, the real screaming was with his wife, Valeska Debraken, over the divorce. She was in the audience yesterday when he was killed.
Houston figured he'd better track down St. Clair's ex-wife, Valeska Debraken. He found her at the Psychic Research Institute, which she owns. It's a strange place with an even stranger owner.
Thinking of the pattern, and only the pattern, and hearing only the sound of my voice. No other sounds intrude, no other images, only the image of the pattern. It fills your mind.
Well, would you look at that? That's fantastic.
At age 7, I fell from a ladder, struck my head, and from that time on, have possessed powers. I'm trying in this institute to explain them.
Well, that's all very interesting, but we were talking about Valentine, your husband, rather your ex-husband.
And the divorce.
Right.
Yes. Well, it was a marriage of convenience. At the time, we needed each other. It was a marriage in name only. We each went our separate ways.
Well, folks have been saying that you two were doing an awful lot of shouting, that things were getting a little bitter.
Valentine lived his life at the top of his voice, but I really fail to see how I can help your client, Mr. Houston. I was one of those who heard her threaten to kill my husband.
Yeah, well, you were at the showing yesterday. Why was that?
To wish Valentine luck. I still do own a piece of the company. It helps fund my research. Watch.
Well, after seeing this and the cards on the table and everything, it does kind of lead me to believe that you know a thing or two about showbiz.
It is not show business, Mr. Houston. This institute is world-renowned. Our works are supported by donations from every country in the free world.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's something to it, but see, I already gave it the office.
Something to it! That sundial. I think it's a bit slow. Tricks, Mr. Houston. Magicians and jesters perform tricks. We are refining powers that are within the greatest powerful equipment ever made, the human mind. And now I think you'd better go.
Okay. I'll just let myself out. Something, CJ. Now, I'm less than partial to being shot at, and I'd just as soon we find out who did it before they try it again.
Well, let's see if Baby did the homework I assigned for.
Let her rip.
Marvin Garth, former accountant. About 4 years ago, he poured everything he had into St. Clair's company. Now, the profits are marginal, but Mr. Garth is living a mite high on the hog.
How high?
Bankruptcy high. Until St. Clair's death, he is now the sole beneficiary of a $1 million life insurance policy.
Well, $1 million is a good reason for murder.
You bet. You sure are glad to see her, aren't you?
Who?
Squeaky.
Next picture, CJ.
Vera Martin, about 2 years ago, she became St. Clair's assistant. Very talented, very ambitious lady. Some people say that she's a lot more talented than her late unlamented boss.
Well, ambitious ladies have been known to kill before. What's next?
Valeska Debrican, St. Clair's ex-wife.
Oh, yeah, well, you can cross her off your list. I tell you, this lady does not need an electronic gizmo to kill.
Mind control tricks?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that lady do some things that give a whole new meaning to the word spooky.
Does it now? Are you sure it wasn't just an illusion? Houston, she used to be in showbiz. Before she launched that Psychic Institute, she was a hypnotist. Used to call herself Madame Valeska.
Now, wait a minute. What are you trying to tell? You mean you're trying to tell me that I didn't really see what I saw and that she planted all that in my mind?
Well, let me put it to you this way, Houston. There are some women that can make a man think just about anything they want. Speaking of which, why don't you tell me about Squeaky Rooster? Were you engaged or what?
But can I be real honest with you, CJ?
Shoot.
All right. I'll tell you something. I have only really loved, and I mean really loved, once in my life. It was so complete, so deep. I just don't think I'm ever going to be able to match that again.
Christina's that good?
Christina? I'm talking about Rupert. My frog.
Houston, where are you going now?
To a fashion show.
You mean to see Squeaky, don't you?
Hold that elevator!
He did it again.
I don't believe
I'm gonna forget what that man looks like. Houston, you have got to read these merger papers. We are already 1 week late.
Well, Murray, what are we wasting our time on this puny little merger for when Rupert so desperately needs your help?
Rupert. What firm is he with?
Rupert's a frog that won't jump, which might mean you're in a lot of trouble, Murray.
Me? Trouble? I never even met the frog.
Well, you'll like him. I tell you what, you find the world's best frog expert and you put him in touch with me pronto.
But Houston,
No buts, Murray. Now, as soon as we get old Rupert jumping straight, then we'll talk about this little merger.
Houston, where do I find a frog jumping expert?
Well, a frog.
Christina Berenson is wearing the most opulent slither of a black dress, covered with its own chiffon stole, edged in feathers. The dress underneath is a shaft of feminine brilliance. Slip the stole down, and the world is treated to the most exciting woman alive.
Renee! Renee! Honey, go find Renee. She's gonna miss her cue.
Both Lamé, wondrous.
Should have stayed in accounting.
Oh, there, Mr. Guard. This seems like an awful lot of trouble. I mean, how much could the Valentine label be worth now that St. Clair's dead?
As long as Vera's around, everything is fine. See, Vera is great. She's the one that designed most of last year's bestsellers. Just that Valentine got all the credit.
Well, if that's the case, Valentine's death is a pretty good break for you. And
let's not get ridiculous. Fact of the matter is, St. Clair and I took out duplicate insurance policies, naming each other as the beneficiary. That's a very common practice between partners. Yes, Houston, I need money, but not enough to kill for it. Excuse me.
The look of bugle beads sparkle, bedazzle, and dazzle.
Christina?
They look at this woman as if to say, she's a tiger, she's alive, she's vital. She moves into your life with the same romantic, beautiful opulence, the brightest flower. Our next model wears the Renaissance sleeve, the above-the-table romance of that lady says, I'm a woman. I'm proud to be a woman. I'm glad to be alive. Black chiffon, soft and gold. The look
Are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. If I was all right, I never would have left Texas and sold my ranch. And came out here, California. I'm feeling a little better now.
Ecco qua. A beautiful antipasto for a beautiful lady.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Novelli.
Oh, all my friends call me Mama. And you're my friend, Belitza.
Thank you, Mama.
So, friend to friend, what's the secret, huh? I use all the same makeup as you do. Hey, how come you look like that and I look like this, huh? Huh? Hey, but 30 years ago, Ooh, I'd have given you a run for your money. Hey, and my son Vince wants to see you in the back.
Yeah, I'll be right there, Mom.
How can you be so calm? You were almost killed.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned with right now is finding a killer.
It never would have happened if you hadn't been trying to help me. What I'd like to say to you is thanks.
Listen, would Rooster ever desert Squeaky? I mean, really, think about it.
Houston, no matter what happens, promise me you'll always remember how beautiful it was between us.
I'll be right back. Don't you move. Vance, Mama said you... Well, it can't be that bad.
What?
Well, whatever it is that's making you frown and smushing up your face like that.
Houston, I know you care for that girl. And what I got to say is not going to make you happy.
You better go on, Vince.
How long has it been since you've seen her, and what was she doing in between?
Well, it's been a few years since we've seen each other, and she's been doing a little traveling.
Wrong. Up to 6 months ago, she was living with Valentine St. Clair.
That's impossible.
Is it? Well, she needed him. He needed her. She moved in. 3 years later, they had a big fight. She moved out, met the congressman, wanted to marry him, only St. Clair wouldn't let her out of her contract. Threatened to dump the whole story on the congressman.
Houston, CJ's on the phone. She says it's urgent.
I'm sorry, Houston. She's been lying to you. Let me ask you another thing. How'd you get so lucky to be backstage just in time for that lamp to almost drop on your head? Someone took a shot at you to boot.
Vince, you better give me some time to prove that you're wrong.
Okay, tomorrow there's a buyer's brunch. Then everybody's gonna scatter to the 4 winds. By then, the lab boys will be able to tell me if the clicker in your client's hand triggered the arrow. If so, I've got to arrest her.
Hello, CJ.
Houston, I think you better come home. Valeska Debrekin is here, and she says she knows who killed her husband. Bye-bye.
It was Vera Martin, my husband's assistant or protege. As much as she said she loved him, I know he was going to fire her.
Oh, this is another one of your psychic revelations?
No, actually. I was going through my husband's things. He typically dictated notes to himself. Take a haircut, do this, do that. Fire Vera. Oh, and he had that vindictive streak in his voice, too. When he said fire Vera, he meant ruin Vera. He would have done it, too. And she had to know it. In a way, I really can't blame her.
Well, thank you, Miss Valeska. I will make sure that Lieutenant Novelli gets this evidence right away.
Oh, I knew you would.
Yeah, my secretary will see you out.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you, the ingredients we've got in this Valentine mess, we could stir up a whole pot of Texas chili.
Well, I've got a hunk of pepper to drop in the pot, which I just found out about an hour ago. Now, apparently Valentine used to like to have his European show about a month after his American show. It was canceled this year.
Well, who canceled it?
His partner, Garth, the day before Valentine was murdered.
Well, it kind of sounds like our budget-minded ex-accountant figured a way he could save $1 or $2 if he knew Valentine wasn't going to be around in a month.
The thought had crossed my mind. By the way, it's your shot.
Yeah, so that gives us Vera, Christina, and Garth. They've all got Mom.
Mom?
Yeah. See, that's method, opportunity, and motive. You see, Garth inherits the business and $1 million worth of insurance money, and Vera gets to keep her job.
And becomes head designer.
And that brings us to Christina.
Houston, our clients are never guilty unless you know something I don't know.
Well, you better get rested up because we've got an awful big day tomorrow. I need you to do a couple things for me. First, find out who's been sending the flowers to Vera. Second, I want you to get dressed up in your best bib and tucker and meet me at Tobias' party. Because I think it's about time we started stirring a few of these folks up.
I think it's time you tried to make a good shot.
Yeah, well, I haven't got a shot.
There is no such thing as a frog jumping expert, at least not in this metropolitan area. There is, however, someone in Moss's Marsh, Florida, who is recognized as an authority.
Well, send a plane, Murray.
He only comes out of the Okefenokee at flood season, and the last flood was 1974.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me we can't find him?
Some say he's not a man at all, but merely a legend. Walking the swamp when the moon...
Murray. What is that?
I can save you the reading. There are only two ways to make a frog jump. Food or a predator. No tricks. There's no pep talk you can give him. They never heard of the Gipper, and they don't know from God and country. Here's your shot.
Where?
2-ball combination, 12-ball in the corner. I'm not just another pretty face, you know.
While I was checking out the florist to see who sent the flowers to Vera, Houston was off to the buyer's brunch to do some buying in his own fashion. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that.
Why, Mr. Houston. How nice to see you.
Well, thank you. Boy, you're looking pretty enough to be one of the models.
What's the Texas word for flatterer?
True.
You know, it's such a shame that Mr. Valentine isn't here to see all of this. We've had over $2 million worth of bookings.
Yeah, well, if he was here, you wouldn't be, right?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, the truth is he was going to fire you, Vera. And then he was going to destroy your name in the industry, right? Now, you've got to admit, Vera, that's a pretty strong motive for murder, isn't it?
He'd been promising me a partnership. And then he wouldn't come through. Of course he was going to ruin me. He wouldn't let me leave and compete against him. So he was planning to destroy my name to save his.
Well, I guess you don't have to worry about that now, do you?
Excuse me, Vera. Suzanne seems to be having a problem down there, and she said you're the only one that could solve it. Could you run back there for a second?
Gladly. This conversation has ended anyway.
Mr. Houston, I wish you wouldn't bother Vera.
Well, listen, I just wanted to ask her a couple of questions. Which brings me to you. I need to ask you a couple, too. First one being, why did you cancel the European showing?
The show is going far over budget. I felt that the money could be better used elsewhere.
Yes and no. Yes, I know that. See, the trouble is that you canceled it the day before Valentine died.
Mr. Houston, I don't like your tone. And I don't see why I should carry on this conversation any further.
Isn't that silly?
Excuse me,
Mr.
please.
Houston, what a surprise. Excuse me.
I didn't really know that psychics could get surprised.
Well, I simply meant that I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't really expect to see you here either.
Most of these people are my friends. After all, I was married to Valentine for 7 years.
Yes, no, and just 6 months after you were married, you retired from your stage career, Madame Valeska. You see, I'm really curious to find out why you switched from your nightclub hypnotist act to your mind reading.
I don't like what you're thinking. Good day, Mr. Houston.
Find out who was sending the flowers to Vera?
Yes, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to announce that the proud tradition, the trend-setting designs of Valentine St. Clair fashions will live on through the enormous talent of his own protege, Vera Martin.
Thank you very much. And now, to whet your appetites for next season, I have a small preview. Christina, if you please.
You know, I'll bet you old Garth is Vera's secret admirer. You should have seen the look he shot me when I challenged her. I think he's in love. He just might be in love enough to protect her. Maybe even enough to kill Valentine for her.
Good motive, wrong suspect, Houston. You're not gonna like this. Vera's secret admirer?
Christina.
Right. Sorry, Houston, but it's beginning to look more and more like she's the one who killed Valentine.
Christina, I do not want you lying to me anymore.
I'm not lying to you, Houston. I wouldn't do that. Not to you.
Since when, now?
Christina, those flower arrangements, you bought them with your credit card. I saw the receipts.
Yes, I bought them, CJ. But I am not Vera's secret admirer. Garth asked me to buy those flowers for Vera. He's so shy and, well, he's very much in love with her.
Christina, what was it you told me you've been doing for the last couple of years?
Traveling.
Wrong. You weren't.
I was living with Valentine up until a couple of months ago when I met Brian. I couldn't tell him about Valentine, and I didn't want to tell you because I didn't think you would help me.
You didn't think I was going to help you? Christina, I thought that we meant a little more to each other than that.
Hello? Hold on. It's Vince.
Hello, Vince.
How you doing, Houston? Where's Christina?
Well, I'm not really sure, Vince. The last time I saw her was at the buyer's party. Why?
Yeah, well, I'm in her dressing room, and I'm sorry to tell you this, my friend, but we found enough evidence to book her for murder one. Found the stuff on the cushion.
How convenient.
Yeah, well, the wires match and the remote matches. That's a schematic of the actual work done. It matches.
Christina's innocent. Now, Vince, this 7 proves it. You tell her what I'm thinking?
I see the number 7.
Right. Now, I'm thinking Americans don't put slashes in them. Europeans do. So do you.
And you're thinking that I planted the drawing in Christina's dressing room.
Bingo. I'm also thinking that a handwriting specialist is going to be able to prove that you made those drawings. Prove that you murdered your husband.
He would have destroyed this. All of it. If the divorce settlement came through, they were going to sell this land.
I hope you're not asking for sympathy. Because, lady, you're a killer.
Hold it. Right there.
You're not entirely factual when you were describing the murder of my husband. I had help, Mr. Houston.
I would imagine it was for the same reason, money, right?
That's right. Now that Valentine is dead, Valeska gets to keep the Institute. And I get all the insurance money, plus the company.
We were a team in the best sense, Mr. Houston. I planned the murder. Garth carried it out.
It was all a trick. Just like everything here, a trick, right?
Don't make the mistake of underestimating me, Mr. Houston. The mind is an extremely powerful instrument. You'd be surprised what mine is capable of. But then you remember we talked about the mind, its potential, how the mind is susceptible to suggestions, some more so than others. We have a problem, don't we? You know that we killed Valentine, but you're not going to tell anyone, are you? Look at me, Mr. Houston. Here. Take the gun. Take the gun! Now, Mr. Houston, look at me. Put the gun to your head. Isn't it a shame that when you discovered your beloved Christina was guilty, you decided to take your own life? Pull the trigger, Mr. Houston.
All right, the party's over, Witchy Poo. I believe this is what you call a Mexican standoff.
Your power is stronger than I thought, Mr. Houston. But I'm afraid your gun isn't loaded. If you don't believe me, try it. Pull the trigger.
Sometimes her witch stuff works, and sometimes it doesn't. Now it's my turn.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Look, before you shoot me, I want to tell you something. See, since I was here the other day, I've been practicing. You see that sundial there? Watch this.
Get up off there. Come on. I'm tired of picking you up.
Stop right there, Houston.
Oh, come on, Valeska. I'm tired of your games. I'm too tuckered out. I don't want to play anymore.
You may be tired, but the mind is never tired. It works even while you sleep.
Is there a point to this lecture?
Look above us, Mr. Houston.
Oh, this is a bunch of hogwash. Now, I believed it once, but I'm not going to believe it again. Now, you come out of there. Now, come on. Just get out of there. Come on. Listen, you got to quit scaring people with all this mumbo-jumbo stuff. I mean, it really frightens some of them. It's just not good.
I remember the first time you brought me here. I never wanted to leave.
It was a different time, wasn't it?
I'm not so sure I want to leave now.
If you stay, you'll never really know, will you?
What do you mean?
You know anything about frogs?
I hate frogs.
That's what I thought. Look at your clothes and your satin. See, Christina, I love frogs.
Bye, Rooster.
Bye, Squeaky.
Ready? Go! Come on! Come on, Ready! Go! The other way! Anyway, just jump! Ready! Come on, before you can go on. Ready! Ready, go! Come on, Ready! Go! Go! Whoa! Rupert! Did you see that jump? I've never seen a jump like that ever. My golly, that ain't possible.
Well, boys, I can't tell a lie. I do have a secret weapon. I want you to meet Hildegard. Now, being the official holder of the earnings, I'm going to announce that Houston and Rupert are the winners.
Well, that's cheating. Using a female to lure a critter on. I don't know. I never seen any rules written down about it.
Pretty slick item, Miss Parsons.
You know something, Houston? There's an old saying. You gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince.
Ribbit.
And of course, the emotions are up. The play is going to be run over to the left side. And if they can get it over there and get it out of bounds, that'll help them a little bit. They do get it out of bounds. Less than 1 minute to play. And the Jacksonville Hurricanes, nursing a 17-13 4-point advantage. They are already the Eastern Division champions. And if the Bearcats could come back and win this ball game, they would clinch the Western Division title, and the two teams would play right here next week in that big playoff game. Everybody in the stadium now expecting the long pass from Burger. He sends a man up the middle. Oh, what a surprise play. And a play that'll be questionable.
Oh, come on, fellas.
I don't know why they just don't put Randy in.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're crazy. I mean, that pea-brain owner does not have the sense God gave a mule. Oh, they ought to string him up.
Stringing up's too good for him. What they ought to do is take him out and shoot him.
Make him not plop him down in the middle of a cattle stampede.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you boys have a proper perspective on the game.
Well, now, CJ, it's not just because Randy's my friend. I mean, he also happens to be the best quarterback around. I mean, besides that, he...
The Bearcats are at the line of scrimmage. Bobby Berger marking out those signals. He takes the snap. He fades back to throw. He throws long. He's got a man open. Oh, he overthrows him. What a tough break for the Bearcats. Timeout is called in the playing field. 7 seconds showing on the clock. It'll be the Bearcats' ball. 4th down and 15 yards to go from the 45-yard line.
Bearcat could still win if they just put Dandy Randy in.
I don't know if Randy can pull him out now.
And you know, I think all the...
Crusher, give me another scotch. Time to go easy on the ice.
I'll get it.
You sit down and let him get it. Pay to be the gopher around here, so let him go for my drinks when I tell him.
What do I get paid for, Jacques?
What do you get paid for? You kidding?
From start to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on along the sideline. Buck Turley is pacing. He's made a decision. I think he's going to, yes, he is going to bring in Dandy Randy Haynes to play quarterback in the final play of this game and maybe of the year.
What's going on down there? Crusher, give me that headset. Curly, it's a striker. What the hell do you think you're doing?
This game is on the line, Striker. Haynes is our only chance to pull it out. I'm going to put him in.
Now listen, you stick that has-been back on the bench where it belongs. Put in that toss-back draw play we worked on. Curly, did you hear me? Curly!
You should have fired him 6 weeks ago when you wanted to. Your first instincts to destroy people are usually your best.
Why don't you shut up?
He's the best coach in the league, and Randy's the best quarterback you have in the field.
What is this? Mutiny on the bounty? Hired hand caught back?
Jacksonville will rush only 3 men on this play, dropping them back for pass defense.
Now, Ted,
Haynes takes the snap. He drops back. We're down to 5 seconds, to 4 seconds. He's looking for somebody. Can't find him. He might be sacked. The long bomb. There's Bobby McMasters in the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats! Randy Haynes has thrown that touchdown pass to McMasters, and it's a 20-17 victory for the Bearcats.
How way to go there, Randy. That's the way to go. Hey, Randy, get it on.
And what a finish we had here today. Moments ago, the press had gathered over at the Jacksonville locker room door, but now, of course, they're in the California locker room. I want to talk to the players, to the coaches, and everybody else, but first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk to the owner of the California Bearcats, and he is Mr. Jacques Striker. Sir, there are rumors that there is dissension on your ball club, and yet the Bearcats came back in the final minute, in fact, on the last play of the game and win the championship. Does your team thrive on inner turmoil?
Inner turmoil? The only inner turmoil I hear about is what I read in the papers. Now, sometimes I think you news hens, you tend to blow things out of proportion. Hey, look, we're in the playoffs, ain't we?
You are in the playoffs. You are the Western Division champions.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more in just a minute.
Bad luck, I guess. I couldn't find anybody in the opener, and all of a sudden Bobby McMasters got... Hey! How you doing? I'd expect you to be here.
Well, you don't think I'd miss your shot at the playoffs, do you? I mean, I flew all the way in from Kansas City, and I tell you, you did it again in the last 7 seconds.
Well, just like you did against Penn State. 18 seconds to go, and you complete 3 touchdown passes.
Well, how about you against Notre Dame and that 88 yards? I tell you, you pulled it off with no time left.
Who is it? Who's out there? Oh, it's you. Now, what do you want? Well? What's this, the game ball? what is this, a gag? Huh?
Good morning, CJ.
Good morning, Houston. What took you so long to get here?
Well, I decided to swing out over the Pacific and watch the whales heading down to Mexico. Boy, they're pretty.
Houston, that's wonderful, but I've been trying to reach you at the ranch for the last hour. Now, our unfavored owner, Jock Stryker, was murdered last night. Look at this.
The police got any idea who did it?
Not yet, but you got a call from Randy. Now, he wants to talk to you pronto, and he sounds like a man in big trouble.
What are we waiting for? Well, hello, Vince. What are you doing here?
So I could ask you the same question.
Well, let's just say we're here as concerned fans.
Oh, then you do have a client.
Well, right now he's just a friend. Now, have you got any idea who killed Stryker?
Yeah, somebody who didn't like him. Take your pick. See, Houston.
Vince is certainly in a good mood, don't you think?
Yeah. Wonder what he's up to. There's Randy. Come on.
Kick. 1, 2, 3, shake.
All right, we'll start scrimmage in about 10 minutes. Mo Doyle, you go in for O'Farrell on the blue team. Hey, Crusher. What's Woody limping about? Late hours or a pulled muscle?
I guess. Both.
Hey,
Hey, old buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Man, yeah, to CJ. How are you?
Hi. Great game last night.
Well, thank you.
I understand you got a problem.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it was no secret how Stryker and I got along. One screaming match after the next. But now you got to understand, he always set me on the bench. He wouldn't play me.
Well, Randy, you do have a reputation that makes Broadway Joe look like a Boy Scout. How much did that figure in Stryker's thinking?
Well, I guess a lot. But now that reputation is past tense. It has to be. These knees aren't what they used to be. Houston, with luck, I got a couple more years left, and that's it. I need them. I'm broke.
Broke? What do you mean, broke?
Well, when I didn't blow, my business manager stole. But I still got a couple more years to make up for it.
If you can get a second chance to prove yourself, right?
Look, as long as I am not accused of murder, there's a big company who wants to hire me as their spokesman. We're talking about a line of sports clothes, commercials, personal appearances, endorsements. We're talking long-term big bucks.
Well, Randy, that's all great, but would you do me a favor? We've been friends for an awful long time. Just look me right in the eyes and tell me why you wanted me to come down here. Because I got this feeling that you think that the police are coming after you and nobody else. Now, why is that?
You always could read me faster than a bad pass defense.
Well, you always used to say good pass defense.
Well, that's when we were in college. You were helping me with my calculus papers.
Yeah, you were terrible at it.
You know, look, I got a call this morning. I couldn't recognize the voice. It was very muffled. They claim to have ironclad evidence that I killed Stryker.
What kind of ironclad evidence?
I don't know. They wouldn't say.
Well, whatever it is, the mystery voice is probably trying to sell it. Did he say how much?
No, I didn't say that. He said he wanted to meet first.
Randy, if you're being blackmailed, you should have told Novelli.
Well, would you? I mean, if the world knows you hate somebody and he's found dead, would you go call the cops when somebody claims they got evidence against you?
Listen, where'd you leave it with the blackmailer?
Well, he's gonna call me back. Tell me where and when.
Well, when he does, you get in touch with me, all right? Pronto.
You got it. But Houston, I'm scared. I did not kill Stryker. This thing could mess me up. When I'm done with football, I mean, I'm not like you. There's nothing else. I gotta make the most of these last 2 years.
So why don't you get yourself out there and get ready for the big game? We'll see what we can do about this thing, huh?
Thanks, buddy. You got it right. I gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Randy. Babe, believe you? Of course he did. Told you, Woody's my best pal.
Hey, guys, look at him.
Ladies, this is football, not a peep show. Now pay attention. Come on, get back in line. Come on. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
After 3 days, Randy's blackmailer still hadn't called, but Houston and I used the time to begin our investigation of the dead man and round up a list of people who might have wanted to kill him. Now, here we have Jock Stryker, the murder victim. Obviously, this was the man with the Midas touch. He not only owned the Bearcats, but he was on the board of 9 major corporations, and he had a little saying, "I don't get ulcers, I give them." Andrea Lott. She met Stryker 4 years ago when she was hired to organize the team cheerleaders. Apparently, he enjoyed her, shall we say, team enthusiasm. They've been living together ever since.
Yeah, well, did she stand to inherit anything?
Well, I still haven't figured out who got what, but I did find out that Stryker used to occasionally use her as a punching bag.
Well, that's rude.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's Buck Turley.
Looks a lot like Bear Bryant.
You know, he's the best coach in professional football.
Also, they had the classic love-hate relationship. Stryker loved him when they won, hated him when they lost, and Turley just flat out hated Stryker. He thought that all team owners were necessary evils.
Yeah, well, you better do a little more checking on him, CJ.
Thanks a lot, Houston.
You're welcome.
And last but not least, we have Crusher Kowalski. He has the extraordinary title of player rep, but in fact, he was only a gopher for the deceased. Now, they were close for many years, but in the last few weeks of Stryker's life, they argued a lot.
You neglected to mention that Crusher Kowalski was a 3-time All-Pro lineman, traded 2 years ago to the Bearcats, never played a single game for his new team. Football is sort of a hobby of mine.
Funny, you don't look like a football fan.
Do you want some more? Stats are my most fun. Most efficient passer, Sammy Baugh. Pass completion percentage, 70.3, 1945 at the Washington Redskins. High point scorer lifetime, George Bland at 2002. Longest kickoff return...
Yeah, Murray. Now, what about Crusher? Now, how come he never played for the Bearcats?
An auto accident in the preseason. Leg injuries.
Hello? Yes, hang on. It's Randy.
Hey, Randy.
I just got a call from the blackmailer. He wants me to meet him tonight.
What time?
8:30 at the stadium.
Listen, I don't want you anywhere near there, all right? You let me handle everything. Good enough. Oh, listen, CJ, tonight was the night I was supposed to treat you to that Texas T-bone with all the trimmings, right?
Yes, it is, and I'm not going to let you get out of it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, in that case, if I'm a little late, why don't you go ahead and start without me, okay?
Houston, where are you going?
While you're keeping the T-bone warm, I'm going to the stadium, and I hope to catch a blackmailer. happened. Why'd you hit me?
Look, I didn't hit you. I found you like this.
Well, somebody hit me. How come I'm all wet?
You were in the whirlpool. I pulled you out. Somebody was trying to drown you. I didn't see who. When he heard me coming, he ran and got away.
Wait a minute, don't I know you from someplace?
Too Mean Malone.
That's right, you're a lineman for the Bearcats.
Yeah, me and Randy are buddies. Real close. That's why I've been following you. I want to help you out on this case.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but maybe...
I said I was going to help you. Well, let's just say I saw this movie once about an ex-football player who wanted to become a private eye. Well, it got me thinking. I got my future to consider.
Yeah, I tell you what, maybe we could discuss this another time.
Are you trying to say you don't want my help?
No. Yeah, you see, it just takes time to train a detective. You got to...
I'm a fast learner. Ask the coach.
I'll tell you something. See, my head's really not hitting on all 8 cylinders right now. Now, okay. Yeah, I do have something for you to do. You see, I need to find out who's got keys to this place, who might have left it open so you and I could get in here. Now, can you run that down for me?
I'm already on it.
Hey, Crusher, Neil phoned for you.
I'll lay off the contact work this week. Just concentrate on the passing drills. I need you in top shape Sunday, boy.
Okay, Buck, thanks. I'll be ready. Don't worry.
All right.
Hey, Houston. Heads up. Yeah, it's not bad, Houston. You haven't lost much over the years.
Yeah, well, I almost lost it all last night. Instead of catching a blackmailer, I almost got myself killed.
What?
Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I got the same problem. You see, the question is somebody really trying to blackmail you, or were they just setting you up for an ambush? I'll tell you something, Randy, it doesn't make much sense. The only thing I can figure is that somebody's got something on you, and you're not telling me anything about it.
Well, I swear I don't know.
Oh, come on, Randy. This is me, Houston. Now, we've been through an awful lot together. Now, how am I supposed to help you if you don't let me know what's going on?
All right, there's one possibility. Look, a couple of months ago, Stryker threw a party. I had a little bit too much to drink. Well, let's say a lot too much to drink. Stryker benched me. I was mad. We had another shouting match.
Well, who else was there?
Oh, Andrea, Turley, practically the whole team.
Did you threaten to kill him?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I was drunk. If you want to get the exact words, talk to Andrea.
Why Andrea?
Well, she lived with Stryker. She'd have his tapes.
Wait a minute, what tapes?
Well, he was kind of a recording freak, I guess, like Nixon. Taped everything that went on inside his office. Looks like I'm in a little bit of trouble, huh?
Well, we've been in worse jams than this before.
Now, Houston is a man who never forgets a face, especially a beautiful one. So while I went back to the office to dig further into our suspects, he went on alone to talk to Andrea Lott. War is hell.
Now, I would like the chairs all around here, and the podium for the minister should go right there, okay?
Well, I tell you, this is some yard. How many head of cattle can you run back here?
Can I help you with something?
Well, my name's Matt Houston, and I'm looking into the death of Mr. Stryker.
Oh, well, I thought the police were handling that.
Well, they are. You see, I'm just looking into it for a client,
And that would be
Randy Haynes.
a great quarterback, lousy politician.
Yeah, I bet you're talking about the night he got drunk out at the party here and threatened to kill Mr. Stryker.
Oh, he's a better man than I thought he was. He had so much to drink that night, I didn't think he'd even remember being here.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I understand that Mr. Stryker used to make tape recordings of everything that went on here. Do you suppose I could listen to the one at the party that night?
Well, I don't see why not. Come on, they're in the cabana.
Matter of fact, I'd kind of like to listen to all of them if I could.
So you could find out who would like to kill Stryker? That's going to be a long list.
You wouldn't happen to be on that list, would you?
Me? No, I'm the last one to want to see him dead. Jock was the answer to this working girl's dream.
From what I understand, he wasn't above working over his working girl.
Jock was an ugly and mean man, but he gave me more chances than anybody else in this world. When I did a good job organizing the cheerleaders, he put me in charge of publicity. This year, he was going to make me a vice president. No, not because I live here, but because I earned it.
Did you earn the beatings?
Maybe. The first time he beat me up, I thought I was going to die. Then he came to the hospital and he cried and said he was sorry. That day, he gave me 1% of the team. That was 3.5 years ago. I now have 7% of the team.
Tough way to make a living.
What, getting beaten up?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Don't all of us working stiffs have to get beaten up every day? The boss that yells at us, or the people that have to work the rest of their lives in some factory? There's a lot of humiliation in this world, Mr. Houston. So what's an occasional fist in the face? The tape you wanted would have been August 5th. It's not here.
Are there any other tapes missing?
No, they're all in order.
Yeah. I believe somebody beat me to it.
Well, I'm back.
Good, CJ. What'd you find out?
First of all, Stryker's will. Andrea Lotta is sitting pretty. She inherited the mansion. Its market value is approximately $2 million.
Sounds like she's coming out the jumbo winner in Stryker's death. What else you get?
Well, the next one's a real pearl. Buck Turley is not only a good coach, he's a first-rate negotiator. His contract gives him 20% ownership of the club.
That's a sweet deal.
Apparently, Stryker thought it was too sweet a deal. He hired a business manager to find some way to get out of it.
And now that Stryker's dead...
Well, obviously, he can't contest the contract, so Turley's a rich man.
Yeah. Well, who else has something to gain by Stryker's death?
Well, Houston, I hate to say it, but your friend and client, Randy, if Stryker was still alive, Randy would be watching those playoffs from the bench.
Yeah. And now he's got a first-string quarterback position on the football team.
You bet. Not to mention a shot at a great contract.
Yeah, CJ. Well, listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Houston, what's bugging you?
Well, I tell you, CJ, it's what you were saying about Stryker earlier. I tell you, if the man went back on his word with Turley and his contract, he's just liable to go back on his word with lots of other people, you know what I mean?
You mean Andrea?
Yeah. You see, when I was going to school and playing football, if you wanted rumors, you went to the locker room. But I tell you, CJ, there are just some locker rooms that I don't have access to.
You don't mean locker room as in teddy bears?
Yeah.
Matlock, Houston, if you think that I went to law school for all those years just to impersonate a cheerleader, I mean...
CJ, hold on. I mean, the thought of that. I wouldn't ask you to impersonate a cheerleader. Now, a photographer or a news person, yeah, listen, you'll be great, CJ.
Great.
Houston, I need you for 5 minutes. We'll talk. You can make fun of me. I just gotta talk to you for 5 minutes. Hold on, never talk. You can make fun of me. Hold it!
Now, come on. I mean, but first off, I can't understand a word you're saying when you're all talking at once. Second off, I really don't have time right now, but now we'll get back to this, all right? Thank you.
Mr. Houston.
Go. Sorry, fellas, you just missed him.
I know who you are, Mr. Houston. I seen you with Randy at the field. There's someone who'd like to talk to you. So, if you don't mind.
Well, I tell you, fellas, right now I'm in the middle of a staff meeting right now, and we were just talking. I suppose the staff meeting could wait a few minutes. Listen, Crusher, you are just the man I wanted to talk to. You know, I've been looking for you.
Come on, Swenson. You want to wear a championship ring, you got to do better than that. Don't bend it, break it in half. Get low.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Crusher.
Coach, Mr. Houston.
Well, glad you could make it, Houston.
How could I resist such a charming invitation?
Well, when I talk to people, I like to do it on my time and my terms. Well, now, that's more like it, Swenson. You might wear that ring yet.
Would you do me a favor and tell me why I'm here?
Oh, it's the game Sunday. For the first time ever, I'm going to run this team the way I want to. And that means that Randy's going to start at quarterback.
Not if he's in jail for murder.
He's innocent. I'm counting on you to prove that.
What makes you so sure that Randy didn't kill Stryker?
Houston, I know my players better than I know my own sons. He is no killer, believe me.
And what about you?
Why would I want to kill Stryker?
Well, it's like you said, now you get a chance to run the team the way you want to. Everybody knows you hated Stryker. That's no secret. Besides that, now that he's dead, there's no chance of him reneging on the contract. Says you get 20% of the team.
Oh, done your homework, haven't you? Yeah, sure, I hated Stryker. The reason I went to work for him, though, is because he gave me a piece of this club. But what the hell, Stryker was always reneging on deals, trying to back out. You see that guy over there?
The Crusher?
Yeah. He had a lifetime contract with Stryker. Tried to get out of that one, too.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a man that'd deal with disappointment very much.
Oh, you are so right, baby, so right.
I'll see you in a minute, Coach. Houston, how's it going? You see any light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I've got so many unanswered questions, I'm lost. Listen, would you do me a favor and give me a lift back into town? I sort of got stuck out here without my car.
Well, sure, you can use my car. Come on, I'll give you a lift down to the parking lot in my cart. Say, Houston, whatever happened that weekend you took Mary Lou McAllister to Laredo?
Well, no, I thought you took her. How's your arm doing today?
I'll put it in the cart.
Houston was worried. This morning, Randy was just a suspect. Now, after a second attempt on his life, it was clear he was a target. Someone was trying to kill him. To protect Randy, Houston needed help from Novelli, who at the moment was off duty and having his own problems.
Listen, have you seen Vince Novelli around?
Houston, perfect timing. Hold this, will you?
What are you doing?
Does it look like I'm doing hand gliding? I'm spending my day off cooking. Mama's chef didn't show up, and I'm helping her out.
Yeah, but anchovies and lasagna?
Oh, hold on.
Vince, if you'd rein up for a minute, I'd kind of like to talk to you.
I can cook and talk.
Yeah, well, it's about Randy.
Oh, Houston, thank God you're here. Please, could you give my Vince a hand?
Oh, relax, I've helped you before.
That's why I'm worried, figlio mio.
Houston, taste this. How is it?
It's good, Vince. Now, about Randy.
Look, everything's gonna be all right. And since that bomb totaled out his cart, we have a 24-hour police guard on him. He's safe.
Yeah, but Vince, he's going to be out on that playing field on Sunday, and there's going to be 70,000 people out there. Now, how are we going to protect him then?
Look, I'll talk to him at Stryker's memorial tomorrow. I'll convince him not to play.
Vince, it's the most important game of his career. I can guarantee you he's going to be there.
Listen, he'll be a sitting duck out there. I don't like the look on your face. It usually means trouble.
Yeah, well, not this time, Vince. I'm just trying to figure out a way to protect the man.
What are you talking about?
Well, I could always get my arm back in shape.
You're gonna go out there for him?
Vince, he's a friend. I'd do the same thing for you.
You're making yourself a target. That's crazy.
That's what I'm afraid of. This is yours.
As I've said before, there was no way Houston was going to get me to go down to that cheerleader locker room. So obviously, I didn't go.
So, when is our picture going to be in your magazine?
Well, probably the next issue, or the one after that.
What'd you say the name was?
National Sports.
I thought you said it was U.S. sports.
Did I say that? Well, we changed the title a lot because we want to keep our fans on their toes. Now, we're going to do a little cover story on Andrea Lott. You know, a woman behind the man kind of thing.
She's lucky then.
Really? How's that?
Well, rumor was Stryker was going to dump Andrea. The only reason he hadn't up to now is he had his lawyers trying to get out of some stuff he'd given her.
Did Andrea know that?
Oh, well, if she didn't, she was the only one around here who didn't.
Well, do you think that Andrea is capable of murdering Stryker?
You ask me, I wonder why she waited so long. She's one tough cookie.
Do you think it would help with your layup if you had a shot at me just with my pom-poms?
You bet. Houston, not only did Jock Stryker have his lawyer working against Andrea, but once the bloom fell off the rose, apparently he started seeing a lot of other ladies. And I guess Andrea believes that turnabout is fair play. Rumor had it she had a boyfriend on the side.
It's a happy household. Any idea who the boyfriend is?
Not yet, but I did manage to track down a photograph of Crusher's car wreck, and a very interesting tidbit. Apparently, the night of the wreck, when he hurt his knees, he was not alone in that car. Randy Turley and Jock Stryker were all there with him.
Well, how'd it happen?
Wet roads, Crusher lost control of the car. There was an inference that he might have been drunk, but the police never pressed charges.
So the Crusher wrecked his car, ruined his knees, and lost his career.
And then Stryker put him on the payroll for $100 grand a year.
Oh, that's an awful lot of money for a glorified gopher.
Right. And totally out of character for Jock Stryker.
Sir, if you'll just let me explain, I know I can satisfy. So, Houston, help!
I found this guy sneaking around with all these papers.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. He works for us.
Oh, he does? Well, he looks so suspicious.
Well, he's paid to look suspicious. He's our accountant.
Houston, why is Too Mean Malone running a security service for you?
I'm his assistant.
A what?
Oh, wait, he's just sort of helping out Murray.
Oh, well, if he's going to be on the payroll, he's going to have to fill out a W-4 and...
No, Murray, you don't understand. He's not on the payroll.
I'm not?
Yeah, well, it's just a technicality. Yeah, Murray, you'll figure that out for me, won't you?
I want to know how he knows who I am.
Oh, Murray's a football fan.
You don't look like no football fan.
Oh, I am. And you're Too Mean Malone, the leading lineman in football. But you've got 19 sacks, 7 interceptions.
And no W-4 form.
No W-4 form?
Too Mean, what are you doing here?
Well, you remember you asked me to find out who might have the key to the locker room.
Oh, that's right. Well, what'd you come up with?
Well, as far as I can tell, the only one is Buck Turley.
It sounds like I better have another little chat with our favorite coach. CJ, while I'm gone, see if you can find something for Too Mean to do.
I'm coming with you.
Like I said, CJ, he's coming with me, and I'll talk to you later.
Maybe he's already gone to Stryker's memorial service.
That's locked. I tell you what, we'll just catch up.
Wait a minute.
Do you realize that's very illegal?
Well, I thought it'd be a shame for us to come all the way down here and not get a chance to take a look around.
That's a good point. Well, isn't that something? I'd say Coach Turley's got some explaining to do.
What is it?
It's tape we've been looking for. I believe it's going to tell us everything we need to know.
Are we early?
Actually, you're a little bit late. We were supposed to start 10 minutes ago.
But nobody's here.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Everybody did hate Stryker.
Well, at least somebody came.
He brought the chairs.
Excuse me, I really hate to say this, but I have a wedding in half an hour and another funeral right after that, so we really should be started.
Shouldn't we wait for Andrea first?
Well, she called. She won't make it either.
But she lives here.
If we could all be seated, I can begin. The deceased, he was the football person.
Yeah.
Ah, that's what I thought. I pride myself on individualized services, so I prepared something special. Please. Dearly beloved, none of us knows when the big referee will call us. I'm worried about what happens when number 9 runs on the field to play quarterback.
CJ, I am telling you, we've been going about this thing all wrong. It's not working out. We've been asking ourselves the wrong question. We keep asking ourselves, who would want to kill Jock Stryker and Randy Haynes?
That's the wrong question?
Yeah, see, we ought to be asking ourselves, why would someone want to kill both of them? Now, come on, let's take a look at these motives.
Houston, what we need is a common denominator.
Well, that's right, CJ, but for the life of me, I can't. Wait a minute, that's it.
What's it?
It's backwards.
Oh, good. Now, Houston, if
No, CJ, stop your gabbing for a minute. That's backwards. Well, let's scoot our boots. We gotta get to the game.
What a crowd. Of course, it's a sellout crowd, ladies and gentlemen. 69,812
here for this great playoff game between the Jacksonville Hurricanes and the California Bearcats.
Hey, Houston, you here to cheer me on?
Well, if I'm right, I'm going to save your life.
What are you talking about? Now, Billy's got scores of cops out there covering the field. Besides, that killer's probably long gone by now.
That's wrong. See, the killer really doesn't care about getting caught. He just cares about revenge.
Revenge? Well, do you know who it is?
Randy, the night Crusher got in a car wreck, you were with him, right?
Yeah, so was Jock, Turley.
Crusher told the police that he was driving. Well, I'll tell you something, Randy, I really don't believe that. because I saw a picture of that car wreck. The whole rear passenger section of that car was damaged. And there's no way he could have gotten hurt unless he was sitting back there. Now, why don't you start telling me the truth?
I was driving, drunk. I was still in Stryker's good graces back then, and he was afraid if the cops found out I'd be arrested.
So Stryker bribed the Crusher to take the blame for a fat paycheck every week.
Look, I wanted to go to the police the next morning and tell him what really happened. Stryker wouldn't let me. He said not to worry, he would take care of Crusher.
Well, he took care of him all right. He promised him a job for life, till he found out that the Crusher was still seeing Andrea. Then he said he was going to fire him. So the Crusher is out of a job, and because of you, he's out of a career.
So Crusher killed Stryker, and now you think he's out there?
That's right, and he's waiting for you, Randy. Now, if you go out onto that field, you're going to be a dead man.
Well, I gotta go up there.
Well, no, you really don't have to. Sorry, Britt.
The weatherman has really cooperated for today's game, and the vendors, they're doing an outstanding business. The commissioner...
Houston, are you ready yet? Houston, can you hear me?
I got you, Vince. I'm coming out of the tunnel now.
And here comes the hero, Dandy Randy Haynes. The California Bearcats sporting a flossy season record 11-3-1. Of course, the Jacksonville Hurricanes.
Oh, I tell you, Vince, that's some kind of feeling running out onto this field and all those people cheering. Just like old times.
Houston, would you hold on to your ego and listen to me? I got men stationed all over this stadium. If Crusher doesn't show up, I'm gonna look pretty silly.
Well, look at it this way, Vince. If my plan backfires and I get myself killed, I'm not gonna be around for you to say I told you so.
This Crusher gets her pretty quick. Biggest damn game of the year. I need that Randy in there.
Believe me, as soon as we get to Crusher, I'm gonna send Randy in.
And if Houston gets killed, I'll send Randy.
This great coach, Buck Shirley, through the years, has been the point of a lot of controversy. But one thing can be said for sure. He usually comes out on top in anything that he tries. And of course...
Hello, Vance. You guys come up with anything yet?
No, nothing yet. Hold on.
What do you got?
We just got a report that there's somebody on the roof. We're checking it out now.
The championship game.
The Hurricanes have the ball deep in their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line.
It's a spread formation. The quarterback drops back. Nobody to throw to. He swings wide to the left side, and the linebacker, number 55, comes up and drops him after a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 17-yard line. Pretty good blocking there, but perhaps a busted play. And at the outside, apparently offside. The full flag went down and played.
Don't move, man. You'll only make it worse.
No, I got a bulletproof vest on. Come on, let me up. Two Mean circle around on the other side.
Along the far sideline, what's that? There goes Randy Haynes and Two Mean running down the side, and they're chasing the mascot. They're chasing the bear. I don't understand this as they run down the ramp to, well, we're out of our vision now, down into the belly of the stadium. We've got to do it over.
Houston, I should have killed you when I had a chance.
A little late for Monday morning quarterbacking, isn't it, Crusher? You better let him out of there. I believe he's got a football game to play.
Right.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate this. You guys were terrific Sunday, beating the Hurricanes the way you did. And do you realize if you win the championship, this football could be worth upwards of...
Is it normal to include a home phone number when signing an autograph?
Absolutely. This way, if anyone ever doubts it was really you.
We'll just call you up and you can verify it.
Matter of fact, maybe you have to put your home address down there.
In case the phone lines are down.
Houston, I just don't know how to thank you.
Well, you just play next week's game the same way you did Sundays, and we'll call it even. How's that?
Randy, we are so proud of you. Why don't we go have a Texas steak with all the trimmings?
Well, I would love to, CJ, but I've already got plans.
Oh, you do?
Well, you see, in the interest of Bearcat team unity, I'm going to sort of take the cheerleaders to dinner.
I thought you were in training, Randy.
Now, don't worry about it, CJ. I'm sure the girls will give him a good workout.
JD, it's been so long. Maybe this is all a mistake, trying to make a comeback.
Everything's gonna be just fine. Look, what did I tell you? Look at this. Oh, darling.
They did that for me?
All right, now, remember, this is just a rehearsal. Take it easy. Try the numbers. Okay, we're ready.
Good morning. This is Army Archer talking to you from Hollywood. And this is truly a good morning. A morning when beautiful Ramona Landers is back where she belongs, in front of the cameras, for the first time in 12 years, making her new film. Well, we'll be talking to Ramona, and we'll also be talking to her co-star, handsome leading man Todd Gallagher, as well as to the film's financial backer, Mr. Miles Gantry, a most interesting man, a Rodeo Drive jeweler who decided to make his movie business debut by backing this lavish production. And, of course, to brilliant young producer-director, Mr. Bill Claudius, who's at the helm of this multi-million-dollar spectacular.
Crying out loud, she's been in makeup for 3 hours. How long are we supposed to wait?
Until the lady appears, not a moment longer.
I don't understand you. Ramona Landers is a relic, a haunting ghost from the past. Casting the two of us as star-crossed lovers is bloody ludicrous.
It's not too late, Todd. I'll be more than happy to close down production today and recast if you want out of your contract. We can announce it when the press conference starts, if you like.
That's exactly the shot I want in the scene when she's cutting his hair.
I never thought she was going to really come out of retirement.
Still fretting over our leading lady, are we? Come along. The great lady approaches.
Henry, you're still here after all these years.
Well, actually, I retired a couple of years ago, Miss Landers.
Ramona.
When I heard that you were coming back today to start filming again, I called in all my debts so I could be here.
That's the sweetest thing I ever heard.
They don't make stars like you anymore. Not real movie stars.
What you still fail to realize is what can make this tired old love story a classic is the age difference between Ramona and you. It'll be like Bo Derek playing Rick in Casablanca. E.T. as a musical. That's what makes it exciting. Different.
Two cables right over. Ramona.
Oh, Bill, how nice.
I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you. I haven't received the changes we discussed.
Yeah, you'll get them tomorrow night at the latest. Good?
Good.
Ramona.
Oh, Miles.
Welcome back, Ramona.
Thank you, Army.
We're all interested to know why you chose Delilah for your film return.
Hey, who you kidding, Army?
Well, if it isn't Todd Gallagher, Ramona's leading man.
What really interests America is what body beautiful health nut Ramona Landers really has in her orange juice. Oh, just as we thought, folks. Almost straight 100 proof vodka. So that's what keeps the old girl so well preserved.
Keep tape rolling. Todd.
It's just Dane. He's dead.
There's an old saying that if you want to deal with someone effectively, the first thing you ought to find out is what his passions are. If the lesson that Murray, Houston's senior VP and financial wizard, never has caught on to, I mean, now here he is, way out at the back of Houston's ranch, trying to talk business with Matt while Matt's wrapped up into the passions of his life. Horses and chili. Texas chili, that is. The only real kind.
Own private satellite into outer space just so you can watch the Oiler games live is really not good business practice.
I never said it was, Murray. We get the Grand Ole Opry live, too. It's worth whatever it takes just to get to see Dolly Parton and her... No, I don't think this is going to get it, fellas. It needs 3 more green chilies and 6 more red. 3 more greens and 6 more reds. That's exactly what I said. Didn't I say that? I said 3 more greens and 6 reds.
Where are you going?
To the office. But I'm telling you... In the hound's ear you did. You were talking jalapeno and cactus. But you're the one that tried to hunt pinto beans in the Texas chili.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This is the chili that you've been working on all week? This is the chili that you hope to win the contest with? And in doing so, win that horse, a horse that has become so important to you that I have had to cancel 3 corporate meetings and a merger for? I mean, I don't know why you just don't buy the animal.
You see where I come from. We figure winning's twice as much fun as losing. And this here's the chili that's gonna do it. So what's your point, Murray?
Well, if winning the contest and the horse mean all that much to you, why are you cooking out here? Behind the stable, downwind from the pasture.
Oh, you just don't know nothing, do you? This here's Texas chili, the only real kind. The aroma's just all part of it.
Houston, come on!
Stick around for a while, Murray. You might learn something.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I drove all the way out here because you said you weren't coming into the office.
Well, that was before I found out that somebody tried to kill an old friend of mine yesterday. You see, Ramona Landers' daughter called the office about 20 minutes ago, and she thinks she knows who tried to kill her mother.
Ramona Landers? The movie star? You know her?
Know her? Hell, Murray, I bought this ranch from her. If you knew anything about Texans, you know that practically makes Ramona family.
And now you should know that another one of Houston's passions, the only one that could pull him away from something as important as chili and horses, is helping friends.
Molly, you're all grown up.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you. I didn't know who to turn to.
I told you a long time ago, Molly, if you or your mom ever needed anything, all you had to do was call. And I meant that. Now, CJ tells me you got an idea who tried to kill your mother.
I do. It's my stepfather, J.D. Harris. He's trying to kill her just like he killed my father and twin brother 7 years ago.
Well, now, that's pretty strong stuff. Have you got any proof?
Well, my twin brother, Eric, who was killed with my father, he told me in a dream.
Would you like to go inside and sit down for a minute?
Okay. First, what you have to know is about my mom and dad. When I try to tell people how much they loved each other, they just kind of smile. I mean, my mom being a famous movie star and my father being an important director. Well, people think they know all about those Hollywood marriages.
Now, listen. You don't have to explain anything about your mother's relationship with your dad. Everyone knows how devoted they were to each other.
Then how could she remarry just 2 months after he was killed in a plane crash? And especially to J.D. Harris. He was only a stuntman. And ever since they've been remarried, he's kept her away from making movies and all of her friends.
What about the movie she's starting now?
Well, that's just it. He couldn't talk her out of this one. And that's why he has to kill her. Because once she's back with her real friends, she'll see he's just been using her. She'll throw him out without a penny.
Doesn't your stepfather own a chain of self-defense schools?
Right, and every one of those schools my mother paid for. It's just like those books he had published. Nothing he does ever makes money. But Mom's made him her beneficiary. That's why he has to kill her. It's because he wants her money. That's what Eric says.
Your dead brother. In the dream.
Yes.
There was no way of telling how much of Molly's suspicions were based on fact and how many were pure fantasy. But Houston reasoned if there was a chance any of them were true, it was best that someone find out.
It's a cozy little place you got here.
My dad bought it for my mom. They named it Casa de Mantua. Mantua is the place where Romeo and Juliet were supposed to live. If you'd wait down there, my mother should be upstairs. I'll go see if I can find her.
To save more lives and prevent more rapes than having to fight.
Oh, that's him, by the way. My stepfather.
Tell him to keep a lock on
Those ladies are his self-defense club managers. He gives them special instruction twice a week.
Hold it. Cammy.
Look, why don't you give me a shout when your mother comes down, all right?
Very impressive.
It's impressive, all right. I just hope it's friendly.
All right, ladies, now you pair off in front.
Hello there. I'll bet you're J.D. Harris, aren't you? I'm Matt Houston. I tell you, I've read a couple of your self-defense books.
You're not welcome here, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe not by you, but your stepdaughter, Molly, seems to think her mother would kind of like to talk to me.
Well, that was a mistake.
Now watch my arm.
You see, the police are investigating the attempt on my wife's life, and both Ramona and I feel that's quite sufficient.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I just stuck around and heard that from Ramona herself, huh?
My wife isn't feeling well. She's spending the day in her room, and I want you off the property as soon as possible. Like now.
Houston, the maid says Miss Landers is coming downstairs now.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Harris.
I said I want you to leave.
Yes.
I told you I read your book.
Houston, it's so lovely to see you again.
Ramona, your lovely soup.
Ah, thank you. I'm just sorry it has to be under this tragic circumstances. My Molly, she's such an impetuous girl. She means very well, but I'm afraid that she's just wasted your time in asking you to come here.
Just seeing you, Ramona, makes it not a waste of time.
Is Molly going to join us?
No, she had to go on an errand. Excuse me, I don't think I know you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is C.J. Parsons. She's my top lawyer and sort of all-around right-hand man. Woman.
Girl.
Girl.
Must be a wonderful person to have Houston put such trust in you. As I was saying, my husband and I have complete confidence in the police investigations.
Mind if I had a sip of that? It's a pretty stiff drink for this early in the day, isn't it?
He makes me. I'm so afraid.
Mona?
Oh, darling, there you are. Houston and I were just talking over old times.
Very tired, darling.
We were just talking.
I think it's time for you to go up to your room.
Now, come on. Surely you couldn't have any objections to a couple old friends just talking, could you?
Sweetheart.
I am a little tired. The strain of the last few days and J.D. always knows what's best. I do thank you both for coming.
Well, I'd like to say it's been a real pleasure, Mr. Harris, but the only problem is, I've never been much good at lying.
Now, Houston figured what was important was when that orange juice was poisoned. If it was before it was put on the table, then there could be a lot of suspects, like any nut who might have worked at the studio. That's only a couple of thousand.
Now, on the other hand, if it was after, it would have had to have been somebody who could have gotten close enough to that table without looking suspicious.
Meaning someone in the interview.
Right. Your favorite Dr. Chuckles.
J.D. Harris himself.
Right, Ramona's husband. We both know what his motive could be, and according to Molly, that's money and lots of it.
Bill Claudius, the, quote, boy wonder of directors, unquote. Miles Gantry owns a jewelry store on Rodeo Drive. Now, from what I could find out, he's completely financing Ramona's movie, some $5 million.
What do you say we pay a little visit to Mr. Gantry, huh?
Rodeo Drive is right in the heart of Beverly Hills. It's said that some of the most expensive shops in the world are found here. And when you're talking about a jewelry store like the one Miles Gantry runs, well, you're not talking about a store that you can just walk into and browse around. You have to make an appointment.
Beautiful Megan wearing diamonds that once had a war fought over them. Our theme for this month's specials is historic jewels in new and exciting settings. The whole ensemble was once $2.1 million. Now marked down to the incredible $1.3 million. Good afternoon. I'm Miles Gantry. May I be of some service?
Matt Houston, this is C.J. Parsons.
Oh, yes, you called about that dreadful incident yesterday. I don't know what I can tell you. It's terrible what happened to Todd Gallagher. You know, he was the type of young man that everyone liked. He was perfect for that role. Are the police making any progress in finding out who's trying to kill Ramona?
Well, Mr. Gantry, the police are working on lots of ideas, but I'm of the mind that the killer was someone close to Ramona. Probably at the news conference yesterday.
Oh, but that's impossible. There was just Bill, J.D., and myself. You certainly don't think that I love Ramona. And frankly, I resent your implication that I might want to do her harm. Adorable Audrey, wearing star sapphires from India that were once paid for ransom by the Maharaja of Kanchipur.
Did you get the distinct feeling that Gantry is trying just a little too hard to sell us on how much he loves Ramona?
Yeah, a lot too hard. Just wish I could figure out a way to find out exactly what that man's really thinking.
CJ. Hello.
Hello.
Tell me, how are the Green Ducks?
Never better.
Green Duck?
Just an inside joke. I met Rick at a party a couple of weeks ago.
What party?
The one you weren't invited to, Houston. The one where I met Rick.
Well, what's he doing here?
He works here, Houston. He's the assistant manager. Now listen, if you really want to find out what Miles Gantry is thinking, why don't I find out what Rick is doing for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me about the Green Ducks?
Houston, haven't you ever seen a green duck?
No.
Then I guess you'll never understand.
CJ? Listen, would you mind a whole hell of a lot if we just got back to the original question? Now, do you know anybody who'd want to poison Ramona?
Like I told the police lieutenant, I haven't the faintest. I'm sorry. I really have to run.
Wait, police lieutenant?
Yeah, Italian fellow. Sort of a cross between Sly Stallone and Bobby De Niro. Name of,
Novelli.
That's it. The last time I saw him, he was headed for the Western Street.
Thanks a lot.
Let's try a walk.
Houston, what are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you something, Vince. Apparently the same thing you're doing. Trying to find out who tried to kill Ramona Landers. She's a close friend of mine.
Why don't you go keep her company for a couple hours?
Any special reason?
Yeah, because that's how long it's going to take me to get my warrant. I got a witness that saw her husband put something in her orange juice.
Something besides vodka?
Better believe it. Something white, powdery, like maybe poison.
Save it for the camp. Cable's right over here on this.
Ramona! Marley!
Get an ambulance. It's your husband. Get an ambulance. How's he doing, Vince?
Still alive, but not by much.
Was he able to talk, say who shot him?
No, they don't even know if he's ever going to regain consciousness. It doesn't make any sense, Houston. It's all upside down. Just when we thought we had our killer, the killer almost kills him.
Yeah, I know.
How's Miss Landers taking it?
Well, she's scared, Vince. At least she says she is.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm not sure where Molly or Ramona were while the shooting was going on. I went in the house and I called out for both of them.
Well, they said they were hiding and were afraid to answer you.
I know that's what they said, but they also said Harris told them to stay in the house. The trouble is that neither Ramona or Molly know where the other one was during the shooting. I'm just not sure which one of them to believe anymore.
What do you mean?
You see, I had a conversation with Ramona this morning. She said Molly was on an errand. Wrong. I just talked to Molly, and she said Harris had her locked in her room and her mother knew about it all along.
Did you ask her mother about it?
Well, of course I did, and she denied the whole thing. See, she says Molly's been having problems, dreams, nightmares, and that kind of thing. She's been imagining things. Listen, I'm gonna have to run and meet CJ. I'll talk to you later. You ever heard of a green duck?
No. Right about now, that seems reasonable.
Taste buds of a lizard in heat. Not lime juice, nor tequila.
Lamar, you haven't been right since you bet on Jerry Cooney.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. What do you two think you're doing?
We're making the world's largest margarita.
Margarita? In there? Oh, no. This is Houston's private jacuzzi. If he ever finds out what you're doing, he'll kill you. Oh, no. He'll kill all of us. Houston, you have to understand, I knew nothing about this. I just arrived, and I am as shocked. Shocked, I say, as you are.
What are you fellas doing here?
Well, we delivered the chili to the plane going to San Antonio. We just always stop by for a little nip.
Needs more tequila.
You're all crazy. You know that. You're crazy.
No, he isn't, Murray. He does need more tequila. Come with me.
CJ, what is it?
I'm going to Mama Novelli's.
With the green ducks?
You want to find out about Miles Gantry? You get green ducks.
But CJ...
By the way, you're doing a wonderful job at those jewelers. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you? And how's Miles doing? I'm so glad for you. By the way, you look so good. Oh, here it is. Good. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm really
You're sorry.
Oh. Can I bring you some more spaghetti?
Dear.
I don't need spaghetti. How about some fish?
I don't like fish.
Well,
Can I buy
now,
you dessert?
don't argue.
CJ, excuse me.
I understand. Not to worry. Everything is just fine. Dear, well.
CJ.
Houston? I should have known it was you.
What'd you find out?
Well, first of all, Miles Gantry lied to us. He hates Todd Gallagher as an actor as well as a human being.
Why'd you put him in his movie?
Because Bill Claudius wanted to be in it. In fact, he insisted upon it. Now, I want you to fasten your seatbelt when I tell you this last piece of information.
Have anything to do with green ducks?
Houston, forget the green ducks. Now, according to my dinner partner, Gantry expects the movie to be a total disaster. Thinks Ramona is over the hill and thinks you might as well just strike a match and burn up the whole $5 million.
Why would a man sink $5 million into a movie when he knows it's going to be a bomb? Listen, I'll make phone calls. Mama, you know anything about green ducks?
Vergognati! I'll wash your mouth out with soap. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why?
What do you want to know about green ducks?
Well, it's because of CJ.
Oh, Miss CJ's a good girl. She should know from green ducks. And don't you tell her, eh?
CJ was... told me about the green ducks.
Hello?
Molly, listen, I gotta ask you a question. You know that diamond necklace your mother was wearing this afternoon? Was that real or was it a copy made for security purposes?
Oh, definitely real. Mom doesn't like fake jewelry. She says only the real ones have any life.
That's what I thought. I'll talk to you later.
How could you do it to me?
Do what?
There's no need for a charade. I know all about the jewels. I know you've taken them from me. We are alone in the house. I arranged it that way to make it easier for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Miles. Who else could have done it? You have my jewels every year for cleaning, and you certainly have the expertise to make replicas. It's okay, it's just us, you can tell me.
What are you saying?
As an old friend, I wanted to make it easier for you to do what you've been trying to do for the past few days. Kill me.
Oh, Ramona,
Can't you
please.
see it doesn't matter? I have nothing to live for. A husband who doesn't love me anymore, my youth gone, my wealth gone. I'm sure you had good reason for stealing from me.
Oh, Ramona, for God's sake, stop it. I never tried to kill you. Yes, I took your jewelry, but murder.
Well, I don't guess we can make the murder rap stick, but we can settle for grand theft. Where I come from, $20 million worth of jewelry is very grand.
Yes, I took Ramona's jewels and replaced them with imitations over the past few years. But I also have receipts to show that I paid for every one of them.
That's a lie. I'd never sell my jewels.
No, you wouldn't. But your husband would. Oh, Ramona, he had to. He started selling me the gems just to keep this house going. Then in the last few years, when you started drinking heavier and heavier, he was afraid you'd have another nervous breakdown. He thought a movie offer would bring you out of your depression. But there were no movie offers. So he created one. Sold off the last of your jewels. Gave the money back to me so I could finance your comeback.
I don't believe you. I'm not going to stay here and listen to this.
Oh, yes, you will listen. You know, there's an ugly rumor around town, Ramona, that you may have put the poison in your own drink rather than risk a comeback.
That's crazy.
Is it, Ramona? Is it really?
Houston, it is 6 a.m. You have been soaking all night, and we're not getting any closer.
I know it, CJ. That's because this is Hollywood. You see, nothing's real in Hollywood. It's all fake. The diamonds were fake. Gantry was fake. This whole town is based on illusions. It's not what you see, but what you think you see. Just illusions. Wait a minute. Illusion. CJ. Maybe that's what this whole thing is about. CJ, let me ask you a question. Who's dead?
I am. Houston, if my brain is ever going to work again.
No, CJ, I'll tell you who's dead, and that's Todd Gallagher. You put up that interview tape we were looking at before. If I'm not mistaken, he said something just before he died.
Oh.
There's the end.
Incestuous murderous damn dame. Must be talking about Ramona.
No, he didn't say dame as in woman. He said Dane as in Denmark.
Oh, that sure clears it up.
CJ just might have it that. If Todd Gallagher was the intended victim, CJ, I want you to get all the history you can on Todd Gallagher. He may have just told us who his killer was. Hello, Vance.
Houston, what are you doing here?
Probably the same thing you're doing, just trying to follow up a lead.
Go home. Clip coupons. It's a waste of time. Just another burglary. Headquarters tried to tie Gallagher's name with Ramona Landers. No connection.
You know as well as I do, when a prominent person dies, a lot of second-story guys come out of the woodwork.
Usually, while the funeral's going on.
Oh, did they get anything of value?
Who knows? The only person here is the maid. She doesn't speak English. See you later.
All right. Buenos dias. Me llamo Matt Houston. ¿Se habla usted inglés? ¿Se habla usted anything? Habla usted Ben Franklin?
What do you want to know, cowboy?
That's what I thought. Tell you, I need some information. Mr. Gallagher have a special place where he'd hide special things like a safe or anything like that?
Oh, see, a very secret place.
Good. Yeah.
Sígame. Aquí. Underneath the arches.
Super.
Are you hungry? Would you like some hot coffee and toast?
I'd love some. Why don't you make mine black? Know something? You're turning out to be a very expensive date, senor.
Señorita.
No comprende. CJ, what'd you get?
The information you wanted on Todd Gallagher? About 8 years ago, when our friend was in college, he did appear in a production of Hamlet.
Yeah, let me guess. He played the role of Hamlet.
Houston, if you knew all this, why did I bother?
See, that's what I'm getting to. See, at the end of the play, the king poisons Hamlet. He's also killed his father. And he marries his mother, then he kills her off, too.
They talk about violence on television.
Anyway, he attacks the king, saying, incestuous, murderous, damn Dane.
Oh, terrific. Now all we have to do is find out who the king is.
I think we just have. Why don't you come on out of there?
Houston, nice to see you again. What can I do for you today?
Well, I found what you missed at Gallagher's place. Your press clippings from Leland College.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do. See, it was an 8-year-old newspaper story about a drama student who killed his brother and then disappeared. He was a real bright kid. See, he used to act and direct in all the campus productions. The night his brother was killed, he played the murdering king in Hamlet.
Well, it would appear my career in Hollywood is over. Actually, I was getting rather bored with it anyway.
Why don't you tell me what kind of a man can kill his brother and then assume the name of Claudius, the murdering king in Hamlet?
A clever one, yes?
Then you made your way out here, made a real success for yourself. Then Todd Gallagher showed up. He recognized you from college. He blackmailed you into using him in all your movies.
It really wouldn't have been so bad had he been a better actor.
Then you found a way to get rid of him, didn't you? You knew how upset he was about playing opposite Ramona. You told him the only way to get rid of her was to humiliate her publicly. You put the poison in Ramona's glass, but only when you were sure Todd Gallagher was gonna drink from it.
You stupid jerk! Can't you see you're on a take? Cut!
Hey, go back! Go back!
Not real! None of it's real!
Could have been killed.
Huh?
The car.
The car.
About a week after Houston almost exploded himself in the movie history, J.D. Harris was released from the hospital. And he explained that the white powdery substance he was lacing Ramona's drinks with were in fact multivitamins to keep her strength up. And Ramona, finding out how much her husband really loved her, well, she seemed to be getting better herself. But the news that has Houston all excited today is that he found out he won the chili contest. And his prize horse was already here. Oh yeah, the bad news. I'm afraid that's what Bo and Lamar are about to spring on him.
My horse. He's here. He's in there, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but...
But what?
Well, it's nothing, Houston. It was just kind of good news and bad news. Like, you remember we had that rain last night?
Now, wait a minute. He didn't take sick, did he?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just that, well, he kind of,
shrunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he housebroke?
Well, he causes no problems yet. Good.
Oh, look at you.